Hey guys, what's up? Happy Tuesday. I am so excited to have a very fun, what I think is fun, conversation with you guys today about my people that are free spirits like myself and who are just probably secretly, yearning to rebel. So for those that don't know me, my name is Shannon Wooten. I am a life coach, I am a writer, I'm an infertility survivor, and I encourage people to step out of the closet, step out from underneath whatever it is that's holding them back, and help them to take up space, a huge amount of space to live a delicious, beautiful, fabulous, rockin' and rollin' rebellious life. So I often come to you guys and talk to you about like the experiences that I have or the experiences that I have with my clients and share it with you because, dude, it's normal. Like, to totally just flat put it out there, like most of the shit that we're going through, we can all relate to. And one of the things that I've been talking to recently about and things that I'm working through with my own coach is about just kind of like settling into change as it happens and kind of flowing with it and rocking and rolling with it. And the one thing that's been coming up a lot lately is, you know, a conversation with a lot of my free spirits out there who are in the midst of trying to figure out their rebellion. And I think that when we think of the term rebellion, we think of something external, right? Like we're defying something or someone. And when I talk about rebellion, I really mean about the rebellion that we're facing and having a conflict within ourselves. So I want to share a little story with y'all. And one of the things I want to talk about is free spirit and rebellion. And the story I want to share with you is about moi. So I have not always been this outspoken person who shares so freely with people and puts myself on blast and talks about my feelings. But when I was younger, I've always been a free spirit, right? Like my parents have always said, like my mom said that I was like electricity on fire. I was just like always all over the place. I'm sure you're shocked. I'm sure you're really shocked. And when I was younger, you know, there were a lot of parents in the neighborhood and other kids in the neighborhood that I played with. And one of the parents in the neighborhood came to my mom and dad and handed them a book about how to tame and raise a free-spirited child. Pause for the what the WTF reaction. Like, the balls on that person. And most of my life, like not just that one person, I have heard from people like, wow, you're super free-spirited. And it started to develop this connotation for me that was like, ooh, that's bad, right? Like, oh, my energy and, you know, my outspokenness is not received well by others. And so I had it in my mind that I needed to dumb that down. I had it in my mind that I needed to kind of do what everybody else was doing, right? I needed to get good grades in school. I needed to go to college. I need to get a job right out of college. And I needed to kind of follow the rules, right? I needed to have a corporate job. And I needed to continue to follow this guideline of everything that I had learned or thought that I needed to be while growing up. And so for me, that meant like the other side of me, which was super creative and was a writer and did acting and singing and dancing, was very, I'm sure again, you're shocked, outspoken, was not a viable solution for my future. You know, being an actress was not a viable solution. Being a writer was not a viable solution. And being creative or an entrepreneur was not a viable solution. I needed to go to school and I needed to get a full-time job and work in some corporate office. And for me, the rebellion came when I started to realize that that was not a fit for me. And I started to have this idea in my mind that was like, but I have to do that. I have to be quiet and I have to be reserved and I need to keep my opinions to myself and I need to have a full-time job. I need to work 9 to 5 and that's how I need to live the rest of my days because that makes sense. That fits into this dynamic that I have been, you know, told about. Don't shave your head all the way around. Don't get tattoos. You know, just don't be these things that I felt called to be because it wasn't understood and there wasn't a lot of people in my life who were like that or could relate to that. And so the rebellion came in when I, you know, went through a struggle with infertility and I started to realize that I wasn't living the way that I wanted to live. I was already faced with this struggle, this situation that was constantly challenging me. And I wanted to feel more like myself. The struggle was kind of like a barrier there, but I was also a barrier there. All the stories I had in my mind was a barrier there. Go to college, get a full-time job, don't be a free spirit. Don't be the kind of person that can do whatever they want. Don't be the kind of person that can be creative. Don't be the kind of person that speaks out, shares their heart, or also things that are unpopular. Has random jobs, does whatever they feel called to do. And in that thinking, I started to realize that the rebellion that I was thinking I was facing was everybody out there. All the other people, all their opinions, the norm. But really the rebellion wasn't out there, the rebellion was in here. Of the things that I thought I was supposed to do, the perception of the life that I was supposed to lead. And so the rebellion wasn't stepping out against anyone else. The rebellion was stepping out against myself and all the things that I had going on that was saying, don't ruffle any feathers, don't be different, don't challenge, don't do the scary shit that you want to do that you don't really have an answer for. I don't really know if I'll sell 1 million copies of my book. I'm still writing it. I don't really know if I can build a life coaching clientele and business, but I'm still doing it. I don't really know if anybody will relate to how I feel in our struggle and infertility, but I'll still talk about it. I didn't know. I didn't have any answers, so I rebelled. I decided that I was going to rebel against me. I was going to rebel against all the stories that I had heard or thought were true growing up, everything that I had learned. You know, you go to college and they're like, you need to get out of college and you get a full-time job. Or you go to high school and they say you need to go to college so you can get a full-time job. I rebelled against all of it. I threw all of it out the window. And rebelling, like I said, is not about anybody else. It's about you. But it also gives you something. It gives you a power. It gives you a love. It gives you an energy. It gives you courage. And tapping into your inner rebellion gives you access to yourself and love for yourself and the encouragement and the courage to do the things that you don't have an answer for. Tapping into your inner rebellious free spirit gives you access to authentic relationships and being who you are unapologetically, without any filter, without any censorship. And being rebellious as yourself also allows you to get rid of the clutter, all of the noise. One of the things I often say to my clients is like, look, you're going through a transformation. You're gonna grow. There are gonna be people that wanna come with you, and there are gonna be people that don't. That's a part of life. So it allows you to clear out the clutter, not just of people, but also that repetitive story in your head that makes you believe that you can't take risks, that makes you believe that you can't try new things, that makes you believe that you don't have to follow the rules. So when I say for my free spirits out there, I mean to anyone that feels challenged to be different, to do the unknown, but is getting tripped up by that barrier of the story of here's what you're supposed to do. Here's how life needs to go. Here's how you'll be successful. And I encourage you to rebel. I'm not saying that you need to go out and do some crazy, wacky, zany thing, unless, of course, you feel called to do that. But what I am encouraging you to do is to notice, what are you doing in your life that is attributable to some story that you bought into, attributed to something that somebody else told you either about yourself or inadvertently heard that you feel relates to you or applies to you. What else are you doing in your life that is stunting you from taking up all the space and loving your damn self? I encourage you to choose the rebellion. Like I said, choose the rebellion to love your damn self. Get to know yourself. What am I like unfiltered? What am I like uncensored? What am I like when I step out and say, boom, here it is. I don't know how it's gonna go, but it feels really good to be unleashed. I encourage you to rebel, to develop authentic relationships. One of the greatest things that I have taken away from my rebellion is connecting with people who are like-minded and who aren't like-minded, who can challenge me and I challenge them, who grow me and I grow them, who will give me the space to be me and I them. Authentic, awesome relationships. And the other thing is decluttering. Embracing the rebellion allows you to drop the story, man. Drop the disempowering thoughts or beliefs that you somehow aren't enough if you actually are just you. If you aren't always following the rules and doing what everybody else thinks you to do. And also allows you to get rid of people that aren't willing to support you the way that you want to be supported. One of the greatest things that I have learned is that you can decide how your relationships and your life turns out. So if you have something going on and you're kind of like, hey, here's what I have going on, but I only want you to be supportive, you can do that. Hey, here's what I have going on and this is what I'm going, the direction I'm going in. I want you to support me. I don't want negativity. Declutter all the noise, declutter all the toxicity, and allow yourself to be the free spirit that you are, rebel in the way that you feel is most authentic to you, and get rid of all the freaking stories or things that you buy into that don't allow you to just be you, uncensored and unfiltered. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you liked this video. Throw me some comments or hearts below. And if you have any questions, DM me, whatever, get at me. Otherwise, to all of my free spirits out there who are toying with the rebellion, I encourage you to do it. But I encourage you to do it for you. Not to defy somebody else, not to prove them wrong, but just to be you and take up all the space and allow yourself to feel freaking free while doing it. All right, guys, I love you. Have a great week. Be good to yourself, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace. Bye.